Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. You all know how much I love my Kawasaki Z650, but today we're going to talk about what I don't love about it, or at least what could be changed a little bit. So let's take a ride.
Road is so rough, but the number one thing that I think Kawasaki needs to change on this bike is a foot peg placement. Now I know what you guys are gonna say, Trim, they're fine, just grow a few inches. Yeah, whatever. But my friends, family, relatives who've sat on this bike, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, man, these pegs are like right in the spot where I want to put my feet down. And I'm like, yep, they sure are. Another thing that it doesn't bother me, but for everyone else that has said something about it or mentioned it, I'm going to put this in just for you guys, the vibrations. Now, I'm not going that fast right now, cruising curvy roads, so you can't really see the vibrations that much in the rear view. But when you get going at interstate speed, the vibrations down through the handlebars, between 4,000 and 6,000 RPM range, you can feel it. I mean, it doesn't bother me to where my hands go numb or anything, but apparently it really messes with everyone else. Like right in that range, right there. Not bad. Now, a lot of that is going to come from the motor mounts. Why can't we do something with a like a polyurethane style motor mount? Could that alleviate some of the issue? I don't know. Do some research on it. Let's try it out, Kawasaki. Is there going to be too much movement between the engine and the drivetrain to do that? Something else that I really didn't like about this bike, I have since fixed it, but for anyone else that doesn't put a high-end controller on this bike, the engine braking absolutely sucks. With the factory setting, it's way too much. Now I know because of emissions they probably had to do it just so they could pass it, but it's still, if they could back it down, I've got it back down about 5%, and it made a world of difference. It made low speed maneuvering and gravel parking lots, it made the throttle a little more forgiving. Because, I mean, you can see it's not near as bucky as it normally would be. For a newer rider that doesn't have the finesse and throttle control or the experience from riding, you know, that could cause a potential wreck. So if they could just dial back that engine braking just a little bit, in my opinion, this would probably be the #1 middleweight bike for beginners. Hands down, no questions.
Now, let's talk about a few things. So we mentioned, as you can see, the foot pegs. I want to put my leg down right here. That's where I want to put my leg. Now the reason, if they could move it back maybe just 2 or 3 inches, it would give it probably a little more leaned over sport bike feel, which would get away from the basis of probably what they're aiming for. And I can understand why they didn't as well. With the swept under exhaust, you don't have that option. You can't move it back. And you know, that's the trade-off. That's the problem with it. Now if they brought the exhaust on back and swept it up like you see on standard sport bikes, You could move the pegs back. Potentially, you could do some kind of relocation kit, maybe to move them up here where they would be above. You can see the marks right here where the back of my foot sometimes just taps the exhaust. Not a big deal, not a problem. It is what it is. But that's my biggest gripe, is I wish those were back just a little bit. The front headlamp, man, this thing would look just awesome if it was just a tiny bit wider right here with 2 lamps. Man, it would look so mean. I mean, it fits the style of the bike with the angles and everything. It doesn't look bad the way it is, but I think it could look a lot better. Something else, personally, for me, you see all these nice curvy roads that I live on and drive every day. I wish this thing had better tires on. Now, these Sport Max tires, they're okay. But if they came with a set of Michelin road pilots on them, wow, it'd be a night and day bike. That would change it so much. It would be just a vast improvement. This is an ABS model, so you're going to feel that pulsing when you get into the brakes hard, but before you get to that point, it does tend to feel just a little bit soft, a little bit squishy. I wish they had braided brake lines or reinforced a better quality brake line on this bike from the factory. It's not a speed demon, it's not a track bike, but it just feels a little soft on the brakes. So that would be something else that personally I'm going to upgrade as soon as I can find a supplier, and I'll do that when I get ready for pads. But I'll most likely be needing new tires before then, and probably going to go with the Michelins, maybe Metzler. They make a pretty decent tire as well. What else could they fix on this bike? What could be changed? Why not, from the factory, short levers, especially on the 300 series bikes? Why don't they come with adjustable levers on the beginners? I mean, people that are just learning, they can't reach those factory levers that sit way out here. Why not put a set of at least adjustables on there, if not the shorties? They're so much more comfortable, they fit the bikes better, they look, I mean, come on, look at that. Looks way better than those big silver hunky things that were on there. The mirrors that are on here, they're good, they're decent quality. I think they could have been swung out just a little bit further. They just came up and then out, which even for me being a smaller guy, I didn't have that good of a vision around me. When I added the bar end mirrors, it extended the position of the mirrors, and now I can see clearly all the way around me. That's excellent. So I wish they would redesign the mirrors just a little bit, just for better visibility. And I gotta say, that's probably it. It's just a few minor ergonomic things that I wish they would refine just a little bit more. You know, their little hashtag is Z refined raw. Yeah, it's still got some raw to it, that's for sure. But would I recommend this bike to anyone that's learning or moving up to a bigger bike from a beginner bike? Absolutely. Best bang for the buck. When I sat on the bike at the dealership, I fell absolutely in love with it. It has not disappointed me. And for the performance mods that have been done to it, it's really woke the bike up. I absolutely love it. But for the Kawasaki Z650, I see it lasting for many years to come. And for everyone that manufactures and makes aftermarket parts, you guys need to start getting some things together and get them to the market, because a lot of people are looking at this bike.
As always, guys, thanks for tuning in and watching. If you have any questions or comments about the bike, put down below things that maybe you don't like about the Z650, and we'll have a little discussion on it and see if maybe we can't get some feedback from Kawasaki and some improvements in later year models.
the main takeaway from all this is there's not really much to dislike about the bike. It's all down to personal preference. A few little modifications here and there, and it really opens up the bike. But if you guys have any questions or comments about anything, please leave them below. You can also contact me here at my website. Appreciate you guys watching, and ride safe. We'll see you next time.